Hi there, Gareth here again. This video is one based on a kind of a regular theme with people's concerns about mainly learning with native teachers, but also travel or studying or living abroad. People worry about an accent being difficult. The truth is, there's no such thing as a very difficult or impossible accent. The accent is usually difficult for you because it's unfamiliar or very different to the accents that are more familiar. So, how long does it take to adjust to an accent? I don't think there's a set formula as such. My guess, depending on your level of immersion, it can be 2 or 3 days if you live there. If it's a teacher you have a class with for an hour per week, you may be within a month adjust to an accent. So you might have a native teacher and you find the accent difficult, class 1. Don't worry too much, because by class 4 or 5, their accent is possibly the easiest thing for you to listen to in English, because they do slow down for you and they talk in a way that's usually easier for the student to understand. And you get that familiarity, because even when you practice listening or watch TV, unless it's the same people talking all the time, it's less of your input that you hear. So I myself had this experience in Brazil. I live in Bahia, so a Bahia accent is the easiest Portuguese for me to understand. What sounded very strange was the first World Cup I watched here, hearing the Portuguese players being interviewed. They speak so differently to anybody in Brazil. It doesn't even sound like the same language. It was almost kind of funny. Like, what's that guy saying? Their Portuguese is as valid as anybody's. It was their language first and foremost. But I'd not heard Portuguese people speaking Portuguese at this point. The only 2 Portuguese people I'd met before coming to Brazil both spoke English to me, so I'd not heard the European dialect of Portuguese. Heard it a few times on TV. There's a few Portuguese people end up on TV in Brazil, and it is quite funny because they sound very different, but that was a big confusion. In terms of a full immersion, which I'm more adjusted to now, the accent in Minas Gerais is very, very difficult to understand if you're not from there. I felt comfortable in Bahia at that time, listening to people talk and being able to respond. People there start talking, I'm like, have we left the country? They sound so different. Was there 3 days hearing people talk, and then it was just like any other person would have been where I lived, and I kind of adjusted. So I think depending on how many people you hear talk and how condensed it was, like actually being in that place with that accent for a few days, I think it works. But if your adjustment is one time or another, like it was for the Portuguese people who are sometimes on TV, I've still not fully adjusted to hearing them. I can understand them, but they don't sound easy for me to understand. Had I have moved to Portugal instead of Brazil, I would probably think it's normal. But that's the thing with being accustomed to an accent. It needs to be immersion, and it's what you immerse yourself in first and the most. I hope this was useful and makes you feel a little bit more confident about trying to speak English in different places with different people, because it is just practice and immersion. There isn't a special trick other than practice and try hard. That's usually how you get good at anything. Please like and subscribe and leave your comments, and I'll see you in another video.